My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And with me today is Glenn Hopper, CFO of Sandline Global, a legal tech company. Let me tell you a little bit about Glenn Hopper. He's a former Navy journalist, a filmmaker, and a business founder. And Glenn spent the last 2 decades helping startups transition to going concerns, operate at scale, and prepare for funding and/or acquisition. He's passionate about transforming the role of Chief Financial Officer from historical reporter to forward-looking strategist. He's served as a finance leader in a variety of industries, including telecommunications, retail, internet, and legal technology. He has a master's degree in finance with a graduate certificate in business analytics from Harvard University and a master's degree in business administration from Regis University. Glenn's married with 3 children, and he's also a member of American Mensa and volunteers his time for the Analytics Foundation, helping nonprofits to digitally transform their organizations. In his free time, Glenn is an avid runner and cyclist. And he's also an author of a new book that we'll talk about. So welcome, Glenn.
Hey, Neil, thanks for having me.
Quite welcome. So we've got some questions for Glenn in our speed round of questions. First, what inspired you to pursue a career in corporate finance?
Yeah, I mean, I think like everyone as a little kid, it was either going to be astronaut, firefighter, professional football player, president of the United States, or a corporate finance guy. And so I chose corporate finance guy out of that. And no, it was a circuitous path to get here. I don't know how many people have a just direct shot into corporate finance, but in undergrad I was on the 7-year program, which reminds me of the movie Tommy Boy, where Chris Farley tells David Spade that it takes a lot of people 7 years to graduate, and Spade's response is, yeah, they're called doctors. So I had a similar path and just bounced around. I think I changed majors 4 or 5 times. I went from mechanical engineering to philosophy to literature and then to journalism, and that's where I landed, was on journalism. And I worked for a while in that space, and then I did a stint in marketing. And I enjoyed the creative endeavors, but I've got this OCD nature that I think a lot of us in accounting and finance do, where you're looking for more objective truth that you can just find in the numbers. And there was just, even when I was working in marketing, I became the kind of de facto numbers guy for the marketing department, and that was a foray into it. And then kind of once I started getting into Excel and really living in spreadsheets and building models, I felt like, hey, I've found my calling here. So.
Wow, neat. Well, what about significant keys to your success?
Maybe some of the diversity in my background is key to the success in a lot of ways. I think the same things that drove me to the field are keys to the success. I think you have to be intellectually curious. You have to have a good foundation in statistics and probability and math, and a comfort with numbers. But it's also being able to really communicate the numbers. And I think that's the kind of thing that led me to want to write a book about this business. Communication, it's a big part of the job. And I think about maybe what helped me move up in my younger days has helped me maybe be more approachable and accessible as a CFO. And that is, you've got to be able to, it's not just building great models in Excel or whatever the tool that you're using is. You have to be able to communicate those models to the C-suite, to boards of directors, investors, to managers, and even frontline employees. And I think that journalism background and that desire to tell a story, and combined with the numbers, has just, if you can make these concepts that are, if you don't know what EBITDA is, or you don't think about depreciation and amortization, and I mean, people can start to glaze over. And I won't go too much into detail here because we don't want your audience to glaze over as well. But I think being able to describe that and make it accessible, because it is important information. It's just not something that everybody has a background in. So, I think strong fundamentals in the FP&A and in accounting and finance, and then